Joe Biden has cured cancer, ladies and gentlemen.
So cool.
We have this from the Post-Millennial. Joe Biden breaking. He claims we ended cancer as we know it. The real story, because I'm not here to bury the lead or manipulate you, is that Biden mumbled what sounded like we ended cancer as we know it, seemingly on accident. And I just find it kind of sad and humorous. But here let me.
I'm so glad I donated money to him.
Oh my gosh.
Let's play the clip.
Yeah, and
Do
Fetterman.
anything at all, Joe, what would you do? I said I'd cure cancer. They looked at me like, why cancer? Because no one thinks we can. That's why, and we can.
Yeah, that's why.
We end the cancer as we know it.
Never mind the dead.
Should he try to cure drug addiction?
Did he cure drug addiction too?
So okay,
Should that be the one?
The clip.
It's a little late for Bo, huh?
I gotta say to the Post-Millennial, do not clip audio. Do not clip the audio right after a word is spoken while he's still speaking, because that diminishes the veracity of making this claim. For all we know, he said, we ended cancer as we know it. I mean to say is we can end cancer as we know it. But you cut him off, and now we don't know the context.
But I'll give you some more context if you look this up. During the campaign, the 2020 campaign, he explicitly said, when I'm elected, we will cure cancer.
Yes.
He did?
Yes.
Yeah, he definitely.
But if you look at the whole context, it was like, we're not going to stop until we put enough resources to solve this. So it was out of context. The sentence sounds crazy, and I'm sure that's what it's a throwback for him. By the way, I had this tweet, and I think you all agree.
Maybe that's what all those bio labs in the Ukraine were for, is to come up with a cure for cancer.
Maybe, who knows?
And to confirm what you're saying, it was in Ottumwa, Iowa, June 11th, 2019. Biden said he would, quote, cure cancer.
The other thing that I'm really excited about is if it's Trump Biden as the two candidates, it will be literally impossible to convince Joe Biden that he's not living in 2020. Literally.
That's what I wondered about what he said here. I think what he meant to say was, we're going to cure cancer as we know it, but he said it in the present tense.
Yes.
Okay, so this is not the worst thing he's done. No. There was the famous story where he kept saying Libya instead of Syria. And it's kind of a big deal if the president, commander-in-chief, is speaking to the armed forces. And this he was speaking to the UN or whatever. But imagine he goes to a meeting in the Situation Room and he's like, we got to bomb Libya, and they're like, are you sure? It's like, yeah, just get him out of there, just do it. And it's like, well, okay, I guess. And then it's like breaking news the next day, New York Times, U.S. declares war on Libya, and we're like, why?
We did that already, though.
Technically, France did it for us.
Yeah. If he was like, instead of saying we got to send troops, and he's talking to his generals, we got to send troops, and he says troops are in, the generals would be like, what? They're already in? Because he's speaking in the present
But do you know
tense?
what's really funny is that there was a lot of talk like this when Trump was in office, and people on the left, Democrats, were freaking out. Like they think Trump's an idiot, and I can't believe this guy's
He's going to cause a war.
Yeah, this guy's commander-in-chief. But I don't think Republicans have that fear about Biden, because there's really an understanding that he's not running anything. So he's like saying all these things, and everyone's just like, yeah, who cares? Like, we know he's not running the military.
I don't 100%. That like it's never Joe Biden actually calling shots. Like he's definitely got handlers that are telling him what to say. He admits it at the podium constantly.
And that's
saying they'll get mad at me. They want me to say this. He tells people all the time.
And that's been his career. That's why he got the nomination. He was a team player. He's a party hack.
I agree and disagree. I think it's true he has AIDS and
well, good, hey, good news, Jack. Good news, Jack.
Joe Biden has White House aides who tell him, his staff members, what to say and who to call upon and things like this. Yeah. And he says they're going to get mad. People assume that means there's like a CIA puppet master pulling strings, when it could just be that Biden has staff members who get angry when he asks them for help. They give him help, and then he doesn't do what they say. It doesn't mean that he's literally being told he has to do things. I think it's a combination of the two. I think he does just go with the flow and is told to do things, but then he also just does things himself, and that creates chaos.
I also think that in many ways it's similar to Trump, because Trump very clearly seemed to not be was a big picture guy and wasn't worried about the minutia. And it seemed very clear. It's like, okay, I trust you. Because when you're running like a Trump organization, hotel organization, you're not looking at the hotel in Atlanta, the hotel in New York. You have someone you trust, they're there, and you delegate it. So, you know, that's kind of, I'm sure that was the situation during his presidency. And that's why a lot of it went off the rails, because he didn't have a strong deck of people to staff, and then they're just going rogue.
Yeah,
and bragging about
Biden,
it.
I don't know. I don't even think this Biden is the other Biden. They don't look nothing like the original Biden.
Neither do you.
Well, that's true.
Look who's talking.
Yeah, that's true.
He got plastic surgery. That's the funniest thing.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, he got hair plugs for sure.
And I'm pretty sure he got a facelift.
Oh, yeah, he's got eye lift for sure.
Yeah.
But it's not, I mean, the old Biden has a much squarer face.
Yeah, well, they pull your flesh back, you know?
Well, I've had that, so I know that. But still, his cheekbones were much wider. And
are you the original Joe Biden? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
I think he's being portrayed by an actor.
Really?
I do. I think he's wearing a mask and he's being portrayed by an actor.
A flesh mask.
Did you guys see the Jamie Foxx video?
No.
Jamie Foxx put out a video and he's like, "Hey guys, you know, I'm all right." And then everyone started showing these like celebrity headshot pictures of his face alongside his cell phone video where he's pale. And it's really simple. It's the width of the camera lens. So you Google this YouTube video, camera lens distortion face, and you can see a guy's face changing shape.
Wait, hold on. I gotta ask Roseanne.
Monique says they cloned him.
Let me ask you this, Roseanne. If you've been in Hollywood for decades, if you're gonna have an actor who's going to play Joe Biden, wouldn't you have an actor who knows how to deliver the lines?
Well, they told him to act like he's got the Alzheimer's.
Why would you do that? Wouldn't you want an actor who acts like he doesn't have the Alzheimer's?
No, because it's all a show. It's all a show for the American people.
Well, that's a bit too much.
Now that's a sitcom I would like. A show.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true because people have to see how it works. Look at it. It's The Sopranos. Why is nobody seeing what's going on? It's the new Sopranos with the Biden family.
I think you should bring back the Golden Girls and have them all, but have them all have Alzheimer's.
Here's what I think is funny. When it comes to they show a picture of Biden next to an older picture of Biden. It says Biden or whatever, and they're like Biden versus Biden. Like Biden right now is actually Biden. They call him, and it's just like they point to his ears being.
Same with
like,
the Pope, Pope Benedict.
Right, but I'm like, okay, dude, he got a facelift.
Yeah, they sew your ears down. Right.
And so people
one of my ears is different.
And they're like, why is his face a different shape? Different camera lens, man. Like, there's a bunch of different photos of different people. Did
you see when he was scratching the back of his head and the mask?
It's not. It's his skin. It's his loose old skin.
No, it was way too much skin. I think it's Jim Carrey playing it.
It could be Jim Carrey.
Look, nobody could fall up the stairs.
No.
It's alrighty then.
It's Wonder Years. Fred Savage.
Fred.
And the other guy became Marilyn Manson.
Do you know? You ever see that Family Guy episode where Rush Limbaugh was actually Fred Savage?
Yes,
and he's also Michael Moore, and he's like. Yeah. You know, after the Wonder Years, acting dried up, but he had this thirst to act, so he just became all of these personalities.
What about this conspiracy theory that it was Barron running Trump's Twitter because no 7-year-old senior citizen could be that much of a great shit poster? It's got to be this kid.
Or that
awesome.
Steve Bannon is Barron from the future.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, what were we talking about? Joe Biden.
How someone's acting for Biden, acting as Biden because
it's Biden.
That's why he speaks like that, because you just can't hit it out of the park. So you've got to pick something that's off and just go commit to it.
No, come on. Joe Biden got a bunch of surgery. He got plastic surgery, got his hair done.
It's really disturbing. Hillary Clinton
He's falling apart. He's got plates in his brain. He can barely talk. It's like he's just losing
What,
it.
he's just a placeholder? Is that what you think?
Yeah. That was, what magazine was it? Atlantic?
Oh,
in
yeah.
the 2020 election, they said...
Time, wasn't it, with the conspiracy?
No.
Okay.
No. Atlantic said, stay alive, Joe Biden. All we need is your corporeal form.
Yeah.
They were outright saying, we just need a guy who can get votes. We don't care what he does.
But for 4 years, it was pretty clear during the Trump presidency that the president has far less powers than we are told. And it was... a complaint of his that it's like the government's running itself, and I'm not. They're bragging about how they kind of did end runs about him, and the press was cheering it on, like especially with the we didn't how many troops. What do you mean?
Cheering on the idea that for the first time in my lifetime, the president had his authority rescinded and revoked. Now there's bad things to that in terms of what Trump wanted to do, like ending war, but. The idea that the president all of a sudden was being curtailed, I was like, wow, that's a first.
No, but I meant
because that's a disruption of our whole constitutional republic.
But what were they lying about?
They tried to destroy the executive branch and bring up,
Was it destroying it, or was it just demonstrating how it really works?
No, they tried to disrupt the whole balance of power in our government.
They said before Trump even was inaugurated, they were going to impeach him.
Yeah.
Now we have, I covered this morning, Kevin McCarthy announces a strongly worded letter to be sent.
After Rand Paul sent a strongly worded letter. Second one.
About Fauci.
Yeah.
Ooh, two. Time.
The second one. If it's a third one, 3 strikes and nothing happens.
Yeah,
but I tweeted Rand Paul that he should ask Fauci for a cure for his impotence. because it's insane how these Republicans, Chuck Grassley is another one. Chuck Grassley was the ranking member of the House, of the Senate, Judiciary Committee. He wrote letters to the DOJ, this is the Trump DOJ, about Julie Swetnick. I'm like, this woman's lying brazenly in front of Congress. He doesn't get a call return, writes another letter a year later, doesn't get a call return, sends out a press release. So the Republicans are bragging that they can't even get a call return. This is something to be cringing and embarrassing about instead of telling your voters. It's disgusting.
So McCarthy announces a potential that this may lead to an impeachment inquiry.
Oh,
wow. Not even an impeachment, an inquiry into a maybe impeachment later.
Click on this link and send me money. That's how it works.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.